All right, guys, super excited for this case study, first case study of many to come with Justin Mucci, aka at Mucci Strength on Instagram. Going to be breaking down what we've done together in the past 3-4 months, what worked for him, what wasn't working for him in the past, what you can take away from this, and just kind of a general breakdown of why he grew so much in the past 3-4 months. So let's get started. So a little bit of a breakdown from before we started working together. We started on December 13th of 2023, so last year. Justin was at around 2.7 thousand followers. He was posting about 1 to 2 reels per week, and there was a substantial amount of friction or uncertainty when it came to the content he was making. If you take a look at the screenshots here of the different posts he had, they were a little bit all over the place. I think there's definitely value in trying new styles. He was doing like a dark aesthetic style in these couple of posts. He was doing more just like traditional, almost Ben Patrick style video breakdowns. This was a great video that got to like 69,000 views with his first dunk. There we go. Handstand push-up videos. Like, it was a bit all over the place, and there's absolutely value in trying out new things. But in Justin's case, he was trying out new things more out of uncertainty than out of looking for creativity and whatnot. And as we'll break down in the coming slides, there was definitely a bit of a lack of authenticity coming through in the videos. So where is he at now? He just hit 54,000 followers a day or two. Today is April 11th, 2024. He's creating with ease. So that means he goes into the gym with his videographer. He goes in there with an idea for 5 or 8 reels, and he just cranks them out. I think last time I spoke to Justin about how quickly he was doing these, he filmed 8 reels in about an hour and a half. It's like 10 minutes per filming, and he's not scripting any of his videos, which we'll get into that and how that works in the coming slides. He's now producing 1 reel every single day. In the past 4 months of working together, I believe he's missed 3 to 5 days of posting, so pretty limited. And now he has basically unlimited business growth potential. With 54,000 eyeballs looking at your content, you're bound to make a lot of money. He's opening his school program, Locked In Athletes, and there's just a limitless potential for how much his business can grow at this point. So what changed? That's the question everyone has asked Justin, everyone's asked me, and everyone is asking maybe themselves, like, what do I need to change to have a similar change as Justin? Because he was already posting content for months, 6+ months potentially, and wasn't really getting anywhere. 2.7 thousand is a respectable amount, but 54,000 is an entirely different tier of growth. So before I get down into the specifics, I want to bring up an analogy that was brought to my attention by my mentor, Keegan Smith, that was so powerful, not just for Justin's case, but I think so many cases of people growing their businesses, growing their social media brands, personal brands, whatever it is. And the analogy is comparing the city of Rome to the city of Dubai. So the way Keegan described it is Rome, as the phrase goes, was not built in a day, wasn't built in a year, wasn't even built in a decade. It required a lot of art, passion, love, excellence, architectural excellence, artistic excellence, even governing excellence, right? Like, the level of excellence required to build something of this caliber at that time is astronomical to what most of us can even comprehend today. On the flip side of that, Dubai is, as Keegan described it, a disposable city. I've personally never been to Dubai, so I can only speak from what I've heard others say. But it was built very quickly. It was built with the intention of how big can we build something in as little amount of time as possible? How luxurious can we make it? How much money can we generate? How much attention and influence and eyeballs and wealth can we bring to this place as quickly as possible? Dubai's only been around in the way that we know it today for a couple of decades, right? As opposed to Rome. Rome has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, definitely over 1,000 years. I'm not a history expert, but it's been around for a very long time. And if you've ever been to Rome, which I'm probably going this summer, you can see the level of, like I said, passion that went into this project. The intricacies of the carvings of stone, of the painting of the ceilings, that wasn't done from a place of, oh, if we paint this ceiling, it'll be the best, art town, it'll be the best museum or the best cathedral in the world, that they painted that sort of stuff out of pure passion and pure pride of their religion, of their nation, and of themselves personally as an artist. Dubai has nothing like that. There isn't that level of intricacy and pure from the heart passion that was put into a project like Dubai. Now, drawing this analogy to Justin, I think that's the shift he had in his content. He went from creating content with the intention of how can I get more views, how can I get more likes, how can I craft a better hook, this and that, and there's value in it, to a shift where now he's creating a culture and a legacy around Locked In Athletes, his brand, around Mucci Strength, the Instagram page. There's a legacy, there's a sense of athletic excellence and truth and authenticity that comes through in his videos today that simply didn't exist in the initial videos. So I'm going to break down a little bit of more specifics between what Justin was doing before we started working together and what he is doing now. And to me, this encompasses probably 80% of the reason why he grew so quickly. And in no particular order, we're going to go through these. So first, like I showed you here, his content used to be somewhat generic, right? Sorry, I thought I heard something. It's been all over the place. You got like Ben Patrick style, you got the dark aesthetics. And again, it's great to start practicing things, start testing out the water, see what works, see what doesn't. But it doesn't really compare to what he has today. Way more views, way more engagement, way more community building and culture building. That's one of the biggest changes, has been going from generic content to more focused content. For Justin specifically, that's been a lot of hips and low back. That's kind of his bread and butter. That's what he's noticed has the biggest impact on his followers, on gaining new followers, and actually providing value to those followers and ideal clients. The next change that Justin made, and you can go back to his old content to see this for yourself, is switching from a very inauthentic voice, a very dry, monotone voice, to his authentic voice. For those of you that know Justin personally, he's a pretty funny guy. He's got that little bit of a Jersey twang accent thing going on. And as a coach in person, he's very in your face. He's very aggressive in a, passionate sort of way to get you to the next level, to make you a better athlete. And you can clearly see the change that happened over the course of a few reels in like mid or late December. Less and less of that monotone voice was there, and more of like the true Justin that I personally knew as a friend. Next is making a switch from DIY editing to outsourcing editing. Now, Justin wasn't a horrible editor by any means. He got the content done. But the big limiting factor with doing it yourself is most coaches are not going to become expert professional editors, right? It's going to take them 1-2 hours to edit a basic video. And when you have clients to coach, when you have other parts of your business to grow, that's simply not going to allow you to do the volume that you want. Once he outsourced his editing, he was able to go from 1 to 2 reels per week to 1 reel per day. And the one thing I want to touch on with that is it's not just getting more reels for the sake of more volume and more potential for growth. That's fair. That's a good way to look at more volume. But if you're someone who's still learning, what is my thing? What am I going to help the world with? What am I going to change the world with? Volume gives you the ability to practice more styles, practice more topics, practice more ways of speaking, more different styles of hooks. When you're only doing 1 to 2 reels per week, you really have such a small sample size of what works and what doesn't. As soon as Justin switched over to 1 per day, the whole brain shifts from a scarcity mentality to an abundance mentality, thinking, oh, I can do this video and this video and this video and this video and this video all in 1 week and see what works and see what doesn't. Another shift he made was mostly doing solo content with the exception of like 1 or 2 collaboration pieces, to making content with his athletes in the video. Not only is this good just from a, you can tag these people that you're training with in your videos perspective, but also so many coaches today are almost seen as gurus. Just a guy like me sitting behind a computer, talking to people as if I know what I'm talking about. So many coaches, whether in the personal training space or not, come off as these like sort of charlatans, right? That are just talking with no results, with no real human connection and experience. So if you're fortunate enough to have in-person clients or just people in your area that you can train with and bring into your videos, it adds this sense of realness and authenticity that 99% of online coaches simply either can't get or don't have the means of getting. So if you have in-person clients, do yourself a favor, get them in the videos. It shows people that you are a real person. And that was a big, big shift for Justin, getting his athletes in the videos, making content that was him out in the wild, in the gym, training 10 D1 athletes all at the same time. Another shift he made was chasing views, like I was saying before, chasing eyeballs, to building a legacy, building a culture. Talked about that in the slide with Rome and Dubai a bit. That's just a huge shift. You can hear it in his voice. You can see it in his scripting. You can see it in his hooks. And you can see it by extension in the engagement he gets from his audience. His audience is commenting, love the content. This helped solve my back pain. I'm getting off painkillers. I can't believe I'm not benched in my sport anymore, whatever. And the last thing I want to touch on when it comes to shifts he made was a lack of a personal story to a lot of personal story, which builds trust. Again, you can go look at this for yourself, scroll back to his way, way older posts, and you'll see he's just saying, here's how to have stronger hips. Here's how to increase your deadlift. Here's how to jump higher, as opposed to, here's how I went from a 15-inch vertical to a 37-inch vertical. I had the worst hips on my football team, and now I can do this. I was the slowest quarterback, and now I can do this, right? Personal story builds trust, because now you're going to realize that so many of your audience or desired potential client, they're going to be dealing with the same issues that you personally have already dealt with in the past. So you're shooting yourself in the foot by not talking about those topics directly. You should share all of these stories openly so that people can start resonating with them. And that's a big shift Justin had over the past few months. So what does this afford Justin now that he's got 54,000 followers? He's on track for 100,000 probably in 8 weeks, give or take. We're growing, we're building, we're improving with each time. Gives him essentially endless leads. If he was only able to ever contact for the rest of his career 54,000 people, he's done. He could retire. Like, 54,000 is just the tip of the iceberg for him to the impact he wants to have. But growth gives you unlimited leads. So many coaches have services to offer, but they have no one biting, no one trusting them, no one thinking, oh, this person's going to change my life or save my knees or save my neck or back pain, right? Next thing is affording him is building true training culture. He's not now worried about how can I make $500 more this month? How can I get more money in so I can eat organic meat, right? That's beyond his worry now. Now he's thinking in a totally different realm of how can I change training culture forever for the young football player that has back pain, that has knee pain, that has ankle pain. The mindset has had a complete shift of a scarcity mindset that I need money to an abundance mindset of the money is there. Now I need to change the world, right? Another thing it's afforded him is the freedom to speak. So one thing about Justin is he's Christian. He loves the Bible and he loves talking about the Bible with others in person. And that wasn't really coming out before. But now with all of this authenticity pouring out, people are invested in Justin personally. There's a trust being built. They see this guy, he's jacked, he's a great coach, he makes great content, and he provides great services to his school members and to his one-on-one clients. They want to know more. How does he eat? What are his personal beliefs? What is his faith? And that is what he's now able to share. And the reason I bring this up is because many of us feel trapped. For example, with my own content, I started doing training content a while back, and then I did travel content and this and that. And it wasn't until I kept iterating and trying new things that I found ice cream videos. Ice cream videos did super well for me. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy creating recipes and food creations. And I did that, and it got me out of this box, out of this trapped hole of I need to create this sort of content. And how does that apply to, for example, ATG coaches? I think many ATG coaches, whether they're realizing it or not, feel trapped in the sense of, I'm an ATG coach. I need to talk about split squats. I need to talk about step-ups. I need to talk about tibialis raises. And if I don't, I'm off brand. And that's not the case at all. The more you break away from this sort of trapped feeling, the more freedom to speak and create how you truly want to is going to come out, which is going to make content creation even easier. So what are things that you can do from this presentation? Number one is to just start with one thing at a time. That could be taking my editing course for free. I have a 5-star editing course that you can find on my website, which is linked on Instagram at Real Reels Academy. You could just learn how to edit better and more efficiently, which is going to allow you to then increase your volume. You could practice speaking better So one personal thing that I like to do is voice memoing myself all the time, saying, what, almost like a diary or a journal, right? And it allows you to practice speaking to yourself, which is then going to reflect itself on the camera, not only in the way you speak, but the way you basically generate scripts on the fly. One thing I didn't mention with Justin is he doesn't actually script any of his videos. And the way he does that is he only scripts the hooks. So for example, one of his best videos that did like 3 million views was, I had the tightest hips on my football team. And he was just in a reverse Nordic and he popped up. That's the only thing he scripted. The rest of the video was completely free flowing. And I think recording voice messages to yourself helps with that practice. Next thing you can do is focusing more on volume versus perfection. The mind of someone who is seeking perfection with every single video is not going to be able to do enough volume to actually know what resonates and what doesn't resonate with the audience. If you're someone who's doing 1 reel per week, ask yourself, how can I cut 80% of the effort required so that I can 5-fold the volume and do 5 reels per week? Another thing you can do is start collaborating or filming with others. Not only is this going to give you more exposure purely from an Instagram perspective, but it also is going to bring in other people into your videos, like I mentioned, showing that you're a real person with real human connections, with friends. Some people might doubt that, with friends that can train people, and that builds a sense of trust. And the last thing I'll say is to learn to speak from the heart. If your goal is to be a coach for the foreseeable years and even decades, you're not doing yourself a favor not speaking from the heart. I understand that there's value in mimicking other creators for a period of time. I myself have done that. Justin has done that. Many coaches have done that. And that allows you to start getting reps and volume in while taking a bit of the creative load off of your shoulders and even off of your heart. But as you progress, you really want to speak from the heart. You're not doing yourself any favors by speaking from someone else's heart. If you're a slower, deeper voiced, more stoic speaking person, then speak that way. If you're more like Justin, very intense, very in your face, very New Jersey style, very funny, then speak that way. If you don't like speaking at all, amazing. Just get really amazing footage, put a lot of value in the written description, and add some music to it. Speak and express yourself from the heart. It's going to pay dividends indefinitely, right? So that's the end of the presentation. I hope you guys got some value out of it. What Justin has done here, going from 2.7K to 54 plus K, anyone can do it. Truly anyone can do it. But you need to look within. You need to ask for feedback. You need to see where you are lacking and where you can pick up the slack. That's really the only way you're going to be able to develop a brand that has a legacy and develop a brand that has a certain sense of excellence and culture to it. And most coaches are not experiencing that. So if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to me through Instagram at Real Reels Academy. That's REAL Reels, REELS Academy on Instagram. I've got a link to my website on the link in bio there where you can download my 2 free courses, or you can shoot me a message on Telegram that is linked there as well. And yeah, that's it. We'll have more of these case studies coming up over time, and I hope you enjoyed.